Have you ever noticed that the people who spend their lives searching for perfection are often the ones who end up the loneliest? We keep chasing an impossible, believing that somewhere in this world there's a flawless woman who will never disappoint us, never misunderstand us, never have bad days, never make mistakes. But what if I told you that the greatest love story you'll ever experience will begin the moment you stop looking for perfection and start recognizing what truly matters? Because I don't need a perfect woman, I just need her. Jen, for years, I believed the same lie that so many people believe today. I thought love was about finding someone who checked every box on an imaginary list. She had to be beautiful in a certain way, intelligent in a certain way, speak in a certain way, laugh in a certain way, dream in a certain way. Without even realizing it, I had turned love into an interview instead of a connection. I wasn't looking for a person anymore. I was looking for a fantasy, and fantasies never hug you when life falls apart. Fantasies never stay awake with you during your darkest nights. Fantasies never grow old beside you. Real people do. Some of us have spent years scrolling through endless photos, comparing faces, comparing lifestyles, comparing appearances, thinking that somewhere there is someone better. We became experts at finding flaws instead of appreciating souls. We learned how to judge within seconds, but forgot how to truly know someone over time. We became so focused on perfection that we overlooked kindness. We admired beauty but ignored loyalty. We chased excitement while walking away from peace, and then we wondered why our hearts felt so empty. And the truth is, perfection is one of the biggest illusions ever sold to humanity. Social media sells it. Movies sell it, fairy tales sell it. They convince us that love should always feel magical, effortless, exciting every single day. But real love isn't built on constant excitement, it's built on consistency. It's built on showing up when life isn't glamorous anymore. It's built on choosing each other after arguments, after disappointments, after failures, after ordinary Tuesdays when nothing special happens except the decision to stay. Come bent. I remember meeting an elderly man many years ago. His hands were rough, his back slightly bent, and beside him walked his wife. She wasn't the glamorous woman you see on magazine covers. Time had painted wrinkles across her face. Her hair had turned silver. She walked slowly, and he adjusted his pace without saying a single word. When she stumbled slightly on the sidewalk, his hand reached for hers before she even asked. It happened so naturally that I almost missed it. That tiny moment taught me more about love than 1,000 romantic speeches ever could. I asked him one simple question. How did you know she was the one? He smiled. Not the smile of someone remembering perfection, but the smile of someone remembering a lifetime. Man, he said, son, she wasn't the one because she never made mistakes. She became the one because every year we chose each other again. Those words stayed with me. She became the one not because she arrived perfect, not because life was easy, not because they never argued. She became the one because they kept building something together that neither of them could have built alone. Think about that for a moment. Some people are waiting for destiny while others are creating it. And some are waiting for the perfect person while others are becoming the right person. And that changes everything. You see, relationships don't fail because two imperfect people meet. They fail because two people expect perfection from each other while refusing to offer grace. Every human being carries invisible battles. Every woman has fears she rarely speaks about. She has dreams she worries may never happen. She has moments when confidence disappears. She has childhood wounds she never asked for. She has days when she questions whether she's enough. And if all you see are her imperfections, you'll never discover the incredible strength hidden behind them. The same is true for every man. We all carry scars. We all carry regrets. We all have chapters we're not proud of. Lambda love begins when someone looks beyond those chapters and says, I'm still here. Imagine meeting someone who doesn't pretend to be flawless. She laughs too loudly sometimes. She gets emotional over little things. She overthinks conversations. She worries about people she loves. She has dreams bigger than her fears on some days and fears bigger than her dreams on others. She isn't perfect, but when you walk into a room exhausted from fighting the world, she notices. When everyone else applauds your victories but disappears during your failures. She stays. And when your confidence is shaken, she reminds you who you are. When your family needs help, she steps forward without keeping a score. When life becomes difficult, she doesn't ask whether it's convenient to love you. She simply does. Tell me, isn't that infinitely more valuable than perfection? Because perfection can't comfort a broken heart. Perfection can't replace loyalty. And perfection can't create trust. Perfection can't build a family. Character can. Commitment can. Kindness can. And the older I become, the more I realize that the most beautiful people aren't those without flaws. They're the people whose hearts remain gentle after life gave them every reason to become cold. They're the people who choose forgiveness over revenge, honesty over convenience, patience over pride, and love over ego. Those people are rare, not because they're perfect, because they're intentional. Some of us are praying for extraordinary love while living with ordinary expectations. We want someone who believes in us, but do we believe in others? We want someone who never gives up on us, but how quickly do we walk away when relationships become difficult? We want understanding, patience, compassion, and loyalty. Yet sometimes we forget that the love we hope to receive is often the love we must first learn to give. Bond. The greatest relationships are never built by two perfect people meeting at exactly the right moment. They are built by two imperfect souls who decide that every challenge they face together is worth more than every easy life they could have lived apart. And once you truly understand that, your entire definition of love begins to change. Instead of asking, is she perfect? You begin asking a far more important question, is she someone I can build a beautiful life with, one imperfect day at a time? That question has the power to save years of your life, because the answer isn't found in the excitement of the first conversation or the butterflies of the first date. It reveals itself quietly, in ordinary moments that most people never pay attention to. Love is rarely proven during celebrations. It is proven during struggles. It is easy to smile when everything is going your way. It is much harder to keep choosing each other when life begins asking difficult questions. One of the greatest mistakes we make is confusing chemistry with compatibility. Chemistry can make your heart race. Compatibility can help your heart rest. Chemistry may convince you that you found someone extraordinary overnight. Compatibility is what quietly reminds you, year after year, that you made the right decision. One is a spark. The other is a fire that keeps a home warm through every season. I have watched couples who looked perfect from the outside slowly drift apart because they built their relationship on appearances instead of values. They knew each other's favorite songs but never learned how to comfort each other's fears. They planned expensive vacations but never learned how to survive ordinary Mondays together. They took beautiful pictures but never built beautiful habits. Their love looked impressive from a distance, but it lacked the foundation needed to survive real life. I have seen couples who would never appear in a fairy tale. They didn't have the perfect house. They didn't have endless money. They didn't always agree with one another. Yet somehow every challenge made them stronger instead of weaker. Why? Because they stopped asking, how can I get more from this relationship? And started asking, how can I give more to this relationship? That simple shift changes everything. Main's real love isn't a marketplace where both people constantly calculate whether they're receiving enough. It's a partnership where both people wake up asking how they can make each other's burdens a little lighter. Imagine two people carrying a heavy table. If only one person lifts, both suffer. But when both carry the weight together, even difficult journeys become possible. That is why the woman you should never let go isn't the one who never cries. It's the one who trusts you enough to cry in front of you. It isn't the woman who never disagrees with you. It's the one who respects you enough to tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable. It isn't the woman who never changes. It's the one who grows with you instead of growing away from you. Growth is one of the greatest gifts two people can give each other. The person you marry at 25 won't be exactly the same person at 35, 45, or 65. Life changes people, success changes people, failure changes people, parenthood changes people, loss changes people, time changes everyone. The question isn't whether change will happen. It will. The question is whether you'll continue holding each other's hands while it happens. Some people fall in love with a version of someone instead of the person themselves. They love the excitement of the beginning, but resist the transformation that naturally comes with time. Then, years later, they say, "You've changed." Of course they have, so have you. Memd, the miracle isn't finding someone who never changes. The miracle is finding someone whose changing heart continues choosing yours. Lane Giants, have you ever noticed how the strongest trees survive storms? They don't survive because they're rigid. They survive because they know how to bend without breaking. Relationships are the same. Flexibility isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Pride breaks people apart. Humility keeps people together. Sometimes love means apologizing first, even when your ego screams not to. Beland, sometimes love means listening instead of preparing your next argument. Man, sometimes love means sitting in silence because your presence speaks louder than your advice. Banjan, sometimes love means admitting, I don't have all the answers, but I'm not leaving. Lanes, those words carry a power that flowers, gifts, and grand romantic gestures never could, because everyone remembers who stayed. Soulmate, think back to the hardest season of your life. Maybe it was a failure no one saw coming. Maybe it was losing someone you loved. Maybe it was financial pressure that stole your sleep. Sean, maybe it was loneliness that made every day feel heavier than the last. What mattered most during that season? Dan, was it perfection, or was it presence, was it flawless beauty? Or was it someone sitting beside you, refusing to let you face the darkness alone? Man, life has a remarkable way of stripping away everything superficial until only what truly matters remains. Illness doesn't care about status. Financial hardship doesn't care about appearance. Grief doesn't care about popularity. In those moments, the qualities that seemed ordinary suddenly become priceless. Patience becomes priceless. Faithfulness becomes priceless. Compassion becomes priceless. Gentleness becomes priceless. The ability to forgive becomes priceless. These are the treasures that don't wrinkle with age. They don't disappear when beauty fades. They don't lose value when success comes and goes. In fact, they become even more precious as the years pass. I once heard a man say something I'll never forget. He said, "When I was young, I thought I wanted someone who would make my life exciting. Now that I'm older, I thank God for the woman who made my life peaceful." What a profound difference. And excitement comes and goes. Peace stays, and peace is one of the rarest forms of love in this world. And if someone gives you peace, don't mistake it for boredom. And if someone respects your dreams, don't mistake it for weakness. And if someone remains loyal when no one is watching, don't overlook it because it isn't dramatic enough. Bandi, and not every blessing arrives with fireworks. Some blessings arrive quietly. Some blessings cook dinner after a long day. Liambu, some blessings remember the little things you forgot. Some blessings pray for you without telling you. Liam, some blessings believe in you when even you have started doubting yourself. Those are the moments that build a lifetime. And the truth is, anyone can love the best version of you. The real question is, who will love you when you're tired, discouraged, uncertain, and struggling to recognize yourself? And just as importantly, are you becoming the kind of person who can offer that same love in return? Because the strongest relationships are never built on one extraordinary moment. They are built on thousands of ordinary moments where two people quietly choose each other again and again and again. One day, if you're fortunate enough, you'll wake up beside the person you've shared years with, and you'll realize something beautiful. The butterflies that once made your heart race may not flutter the way they did in the beginning, but they've been replaced by something far greater. They've been replaced by trust, by peace, by a quiet confidence that whispers, no matter what happens today, we face it together. Men's, that is the kind of love people rarely write songs about, yet it is the kind that survives when the music stops. There comes a moment in every relationship when the excitement of discovery gives way to the responsibility of commitment. It is no longer about learning someone's favorite color or favorite movie. It becomes about learning how to protect their heart. It becomes about recognizing the look on their face when they say they're fine, even though they clearly aren't. It becomes about knowing when to speak and when to simply hold their hand. It becomes about realizing that love is less about saying, "I love you," and more about living in a way that makes those words believable. Man, The strongest relationships aren't made of grand speeches. They're made of ordinary promises that are quietly kept. And I'll be there. And then you show up, I believe in you. And then you remind them when they've forgotten, hey, yeah, we'll get through this. And then you stay when leaving would have been easier. That is love. And not because it's dramatic, because it's dependable. Some people spend their whole lives chasing someone who makes them feel alive. But eventually they discover that feeling alive for a moment is not nearly as valuable as feeling safe for a lifetime. There is something deeply healing about knowing you don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to fear that one mistake will make them walk away. You can simply be yourself, growing, learning, stumbling, getting back up, and they still look at you with respect. That's not weakness, that's acceptance. And acceptance is one of the purest forms of love a human being can experience. I often think about the little things we overlook, the cup of coffee waiting for you before you even ask, the message saying, drive safely, the smile waiting at the door after a difficult day, the quiet sacrifice that no one else notices, the dream someone delays because they're helping you chase yours first. Those moments rarely go viral. No one applauds them. No one hands out awards for them. Yet they are the invisible threads that hold two hearts together. One day your appearance will change. One day your strength will fade. One day success may disappear. One day the world may stop applauding your achievements. When that day comes, who do you hope is sitting beside you? Someone who loved your image, or someone who loved your soul? Because beauty catches the eye, character captures the heart, and only one of those grows stronger with time. I've learned that love is not finding someone who completes you. You were never created as half a person waiting for another half. Love is finding someone who inspires you to become an even better version of the person you were already capable of becoming. They don't erase your identity, they strengthen it, they don't control your future, they encourage it. They don't replace your purpose, they walk beside it. That's why the right woman won't make you smaller. She'll make you braver. She won't silence your dreams. She'll remind you they're still possible. She won't compete with your success. She'll celebrate it as if it were her own. And you'll do exactly the same for her. Because love is never about one person shining while the other stands in the shadows. It's about becoming two lights that make each other brighter. If you ever find a woman who respects you when you're weak, encourages you when you're afraid, corrects you with kindness when you're wrong, celebrates you without jealousy when you succeed, forgives you when you're sincerely sorry, believes in your future when your present looks uncertain, and chooses honesty over comfort, don't waste your time asking whether she's perfect. Ask yourself whether you're grateful, ask yourself whether you're protecting what you've been given. Ask yourself whether you're loving her with the same patience you're hoping to receive. Because gratitude builds what entitlement destroys. Remember this, every relationship will face storms. There will be misunderstandings. There will be seasons when life feels overwhelming. There will be moments when both of you are exhausted. But storms don't necessarily destroy strong relationships. Very often they reveal them. Then after every storm, trees with shallow roots fall first. The ones with deep roots remain standing. Your relationship is no different. Don't spend your life painting beautiful leaves while ignoring the roots. Build trust. Build honesty, build forgiveness, build friendship, build faith, build laughter, build memories, build memories. Build a home where both hearts feel safe enough to be completely known. And never forget that the greatest compliment your partner can ever give you isn't, "You made my life perfect." It's this. You made me feel loved when life wasn't. That is a legacy worth leaving. And so today, before you leave this place, I want you to let go of one dangerous belief, the belief that somewhere out there is a flawless person who will magically solve every fear you've ever carried. That person doesn't exist, and neither do you. What does exist is something far more extraordinary, a woman with dreams, a woman with scars, a woman who laughs until she cries, a woman who sometimes feels strong and sometimes needs strength. Me, a woman who will make mistakes, a woman who will need grace, a woman who will offer grace. Mend, a woman who, if you treat her heart with honor, can become your greatest source of peace. Your closest friend, your loudest supporter, your safest place, and your favorite chapter in this life. Being so, stop searching for perfection, start recognizing devotion, stop chasing fantasy, start building reality, stop asking for someone without flaws. Balanced, start becoming someone worthy of unconditional love. Because at the end of your life, no one will remember how perfect your relationship looked from the outside. Palings, they'll remember how deeply you loved each other. They'll remember the family you built. Stalanges, they'll remember the kindness you shared. They'll remember the hope you gave. And you'll look across the room at the woman who walked through every season beside you. The victories, the failures, the celebrations, the heartbreaks, the laughter, the tears, and you'll realize that the greatest blessing was never finding a perfect woman. Man, it was finding her and discovering that she never needed to be perfect. She only needed to be loved,